Okay, so in this video, we're going to be looking at the exercises in the ableton videos, the part with operator and collision. So we'll just go back and just double check the baseline. Actually, no, I'll be able to. Don't worry, never mind that. Yeah, it said 4 percussion sounds, 2 bass sounds, 2 pad sounds, 1 rhythmic, and said to use modulation. But I've used modulation on one of the pads I've made, and then I've made the other one rhythmic. So it's basically the same thing, it's just not on the same pad because it didn't sound right with what I was going to do. But and then I've got 2 pluck sounds. So what I'll do is unsolo everything and I'll play them through one by one and say what one is, and I will then go through all of them and just go over how I made it. So first off, I've got kind of what I'm trying to replicate is like a triangle slash like a crash hit. This is the hi-hat. Kick. Like a snare slash clap. And then I've got my first bass. And this second one is a bass also, so put this on as well. And then this one over here is my synth, first one with where I've modulated delay on it. And this is my second synth, and this is the one that's rhythmic with an LFO I've put on it. This is my first pluck sound. And this is my second pluck sound, both with short decay and attack. So I've gone ahead and made a mini little song that sort of works. So now I'll go through and explain what I did. So for the sort of little crash sort of triangle hit thing I've done. I haven't really done too much, but what I did was I selected a material, the membrane. I pretty much put it up all the way and made it to get that ring out, kind of from what you'd get from a crash or a triangle. And then I've gone over and I've put a low pass filter on it, and pretty much only got the low part of it because it's pretty harsh if I had the filter up here. I did have a mess around with some of the brightness and the inharmonics, but it didn't really make it sound that great, just made it more harsh because I had it in a pretty high octave, and any lower would start sounding sort of like a drum. And then I've just pretty much just extended the tail on this as well on the release. So that's the crash hit. For this one, which is the hi-hat, pretty much gone ahead and done the same thing, but I've turned the brightness all the way down. I did have a mess around with the inharmonics and just wasn't getting the sound I wanted. So I've done pretty much the reverse over here, and haven't gave it much material or decay, just to kind of get a more sharper hit. Have no release on it pretty much, or attack. But to get it to drag out a little bit, I just added some reverb, so it kind of gets that ring. On the kick drum, it's pretty much the same thing I learnt with in the video, but I probably didn't follow it to the full standard. I just wanted something to just kind of get a beat, something just there to, so I can basically match my other instruments around, like the hi-hat and the snare I've made. Yeah, so I've gone in and I've put no attack on both the pitch and oscillator envelope. I've done a little bit of decay on the oscillator and even little decay on the pitch envelope. I've got the filter up here, which I could probably just tweak now. Make it a bit deeper. Yeah, that'll do there actually. I kind of just want to get a slap. So this is the snare. Oh, also I just turned the spread up as well, just to kind of make it sound a bit more full. But to the snare, what I've done is pretty similar to the kick, just with a different wave. I used a noise wave, white noise. So gone in, done the same thing, just had short decay on that, and pretty short decay on the pitch envelope as well. And I've cut the release on both, so it kind of just gets an initial strike mucked around with the filter a little bit as well, just to get some of the higher frequencies pop in. So I've notched it up a little bit, and also added some reverb to make it sound a bit fuller and give a bit more of a ring out or a tail. So I think, oh no, here you go, this is the bass. So I've got my first oscillator and my second oscillator with slightly more attack, but pretty much the same envelope. I just detuned them a little bit both and left them both on the same course. I put a filter in as well, but I wanted to get pretty much everything. Actually, looking back, I probably didn't even put a filter in, actually. But, however, I did go down here and change the voices to 1. I left the routing the same, but I did turn the glide on, so you kind of get a bend in each note as I move on to the next one. I might just give a quick example, but that's way too long. Yeah, so I've done that. I think that's pretty much. Oh yeah, I turned the spread up as well to get it a bit fatter. So that's what I've done with that bass, and I just turned the octave down. They're both sine waves, and I like to add a bit of the oscillator B because it gives a bit of a harsh sound. It's hard to explain, but it makes the bass stand out, gives more of a rougher sound in it when I add it and turn the volume up and down. So that's that one. This is pretty similar, this bass. Usually you wouldn't really add reverb to a bass, but I did with this one. So I've gone in and I've detuned oscillator B, and I've turned the course up to about 4 to kind of get a thinner sound from running through oscillator B to match the thicker sound in oscillator A. Also G-tuned that, and I left the level down about 5 decibels. Pretty much the same envelope as well. Didn't do anything with the filter apart from no, didn't touch the filter, but I just turned the spread up, and that's about it for that one. This one's a pretty easy bass to make, actually. It's very similar to a Golden Features bass, and pretty much the main thing that makes this bass sound different is just the attack and reverb and delay. Kind of get a whoosh sort of feel when it comes in. and just to get it to bounce a little bit at the end with the delay. It's around a similar octave as the last bass. So those are my two basses. Now I'll go on to the synths. I've got a few instances of the synths. So with this synth, I've got full reverb and delay on it. Just noticed the video is at 16 minutes already, so I better try and get through it a bit quicker. All the oscillators, apart from oscillator A, have the same envelope. I just pretty much up the sustain or decay part of the envelope for oscillator A. Change the course to 2, 1, 2, and 10, just to kind of get a variety throughout the oscillators, and I've sort of done the detune in order as well. I pretty much just turned the pitch envelope on for the spread. By the looks of things, yeah, no, I did do something with the filter. I cut out most of the highs in the filter and just put a high cut on there. And it's an FM synth. And I've pretty much got all of them at the same level as well, mainly because all the envelopes are the same. This is my second synth. I've got all the oscillators on max level. I've put all the detune to the same, and the last three oscillators at the same course, and then just upped the first oscillator to 2. To change the routing to this, I'm not sure what it's called, but I'll put it on that. I turned the tone down and the time up a little bit. I've put the transpose down and kind of detuned it down as well. Put it up, spread it up, and turn the pitch envelope down. I'd put in, I'm pretty sure is a notch, just to kind of take a chunk out of the spectrum and just kind of get frequencies from this up until this side, and then from this side upwards, and then turn the res up all the way. Turn the LFO on and put sync on with the re-trigger button on, and put the rate at 1/12 notes with 25% amount. And that's So that's this synth. Now we'll go to the pluck sounds. So what I've done with this is I've tuned it all the way up, left the time as is, turned the harmonics all the way up, the brightness all the way down. Yeah, I know it says in the thing short attack and decay, which is it's got no attack, but it does look like in the material that the decay is fairly long. But you know, I could always shorten it and probably. But the reason why I've got it up is for more of the material to come through, so which still makes it sound pretty short. So yeah, you're not getting that ring. But I'd turn the noise off. I've just gone with the mallet, and there's not really, it goes down pretty quick. There's no really huge short decay on that, it just looks longer. I'd turn the brightness minus 100% and the in harmonics plus 100% just to kind of get the tone I wanted and make it more of like a plucky sort of instrument, even though it sounds like a triangle, but it still has a pluck feel to it. So that's that one pretty much. Didn't do too much to that apart from just tuning it, just getting the tone I want. So that's one of my pluck sounds, and then I've got this one. This kind of sounds like a guitar a little bit. I'd shorten the decay on both. It's not much at all. And this other pluck instrument, pretty much just slightly put that down. Only makes a slight difference. Just pretty much tweaked around that. Put the low pass on. Had to fiddle around. Right. Turned left, yeah, no decay. Made sure there was barely any. Not even feeling. There you go, that sounds a bit better. Just turn the decay. There's barely any decay, and I pretty much just upped the volume in it because I already liked the sound. I had to play around with the brightness, the inharmonics, and it was just making it sound like shit. And there's nothing I could really do with this within the instrument to make it sound any better, so I just added some reverb to it, and that's pretty much all I did. And those are my sounds for the exercises for Ableton and Collision. And I tried to get an even amount as well, not kind of stick to one instrument. So I used 2 collisions for, well, I did use more operator. Some prefer to use operator, but I did use 4 collisions as well. So those are my sounds.